Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Capital G here, and it's been a while since I did a vlog, so today I would like to talk to you about some of the CDs in my collection. I picked 5 that I want to go over with you very quickly, and the theme for today will be Women That Rock. These are all bands led by women on vocals, and in this case, they are all, I guess they all have their own artistic merits. So, unlike Paramore, whom I like, and Hayley Williams is a great singer, but I don't see them as the most artistic band out there. But I find that these women have really put out some artistic pieces in terms of rock and pop music, anyways. So, with that in mind, let us begin. First CD I'm going to show you today. It's from a band called Metric. It's called Synthetica, and this album has been a hit machine for Metric. I've got at least 3 of the songs on the album are on heavy rotation on the radio here, and I've actually been hearing some on American stations as well. Like here we can kind of pick up 99.9 The Buzz. It's an alternative rock station in northern Vermont, and in some places of the city we can pick it up, but sort of just barely. We're like right at the limit of their range. But I've heard some of Metric's songs on that station, so this has been a big album for them actually. It was released late in 2012, and features Emily Hines on vocals as well as the rest of this great band. So there's the players. There she is also with that little like mirror trick thing going on, and that's sort of a theme for the packaging actually. Like they actually give you a little reflective piece of aluminum because they have a sense of humor. They put everything backwards. You have to like reflect it to read it properly. Unfortunately, due to webcam limitations, I can't really demonstrate that properly, but they did that with the track listing, and they did that with all the lyrics that are printed in the booklet. They have the booklet attached, and there's the lyrics. And some cool art pieces too. Album itself, it's straight up alt rock. Very, very accessible album. Outside of the singles, there aren't a lot of memorable songs on it. They're good songs, but nothing especially memorable. The singles of the album are Youth Without Youth, the title track Synthetica, and Breathing on the Water. Those are the singles that I've been seeing play here. All good songs, be sure to check them all out. As far as a highlight from the rest of the album, I have to give it to The Wanderlust. It's the penultimate track on the album, and it features a guest spot from Lou Reed. The late Lou Reed. Just a little vocal bit, not a huge contribution per se, but I mean, if Lou Reed worked with them, it tells you that he believes they're a good band, and they really are. As far as individual songs, they do have several older albums. I've got 2 of those albums, Fantasies and Grow Up and Blow Away. Those have some more interesting single songs, although this is a more complete album. Next, let's talk about a band from Chicago. This is called Trouble with Machines. The band goes by the name of District 97. And the thing they're most famous for is the fact that their lead singer, Leslie Hunt, was an American Idol top 10. It's a garbage show. It's good finding singing talent, but it's not good finding artists. So that's why I never really watched American Idol after the first season. I watched with my mom a lot the first season, but anyways, that's neither here nor there. We're talking about today. Well, not necessarily today. This is also a 2012 release from the band. It's their second album, and what they provide is good, hard, ambitious, progressive rock. So if If you're one of those guys who loves all the classic rock, classic prog rock from like Genesis, from Yes, from Pink Floyd, whatnot, or if you listen to some of the more progressive modern acts such as Dream Theater or Porcupine Tree, right up your alley for sure. And it's actually very rare to have a progressive rock band with a lead female vocal. This is a very, very rare example. So definitely check it out. There's 7 songs on the album. Open Your Eyes is sort of the most accessible of those 7 songs, and that's why that was the single. But if you want a really, really cool song, I find like 5, 6, 7 is just tour de force after tour de force after tour de force. Track 5 being Who Cares, track 6 Read Your Mind, track 7 The Thief. These are long songs. If you get into this, know that you're not listening to like 3 or 4 minutes for a song. No, I mean the shortest one is 5 minutes maybe, and it goes all the way up to as long as 14 minutes. Well, for King Crimson fans, if you're a fan of King Crimson, the 4th track on the album, The Perfect Young Man, actually features a guest vocal spot. I'm trying to remember what his name was. John Wetton. As a guest vocal spot. And he actually toured with the band after the release of the album. So really, really cool. Be sure to check them out. District 97. Next up, some local heroes. Let's start with Melissa Oftenauer with her 2nd solo album, Out of Our Minds. And 90s alt rock fans probably may recognize the name. She used to play bass for Hole, and she also played with the Smashing Pumpkins for one album after the departure of Darcy. So she's got some legit cred in the pop and alt rock scene. This album took her a little while to resolve because of record label shenanigans, but she finally got it out there, and the fans were quite pleased about it. It's definitely not an album for everyone, but it's a very heavy album. How should I put this? It's not heavy enough to be metal, but it's a little harder than most alt hard rock albums also. So it's sort of like a tweener in that sense. And she does sing. There are also some really cool instrumental bits on this album as well. And it draws a lot of inspiration from her own paganism. So there's actually some really dark, but at the same time really optimistic songs on this album. And very explorative, even though it's, for most fans, it might be hard to follow her train of thought, which is why I bring up the paganism, because that's where her faiths lie, clearly. As far as highlights go, I love Out of Our Minds, the title track. 22 Below saw some airplay in Montreal, so did Meet Me on the Dark Side. This Would Be Paradise is an instrumental piece with some added dialogue, which is very, very chilling and very awesome to hear. It's when you just want to turn up and just and just let the whole emotion of the song take over. And as far as a poppier song, if you just want something kind of poppy-ish for your iPod, The Key. That is not the second to last track, like the third to last track. It's called The Key, and that's just a good straight hard up guitar grinding tune. So that's Out of Our Minds from Melissa Oftenauer. She resides in New York now, but was born here in Montreal. Another local hero, I'm not exactly sure what part of Quebec she's from. La Beau et la Belle, Pascal Picard. C'est une fille française, mais she does all her singing and songwriting in English. She is a singer-songwriter. And unlike everyone else I've covered so far, you're not gonna get a big guitar here. She's more like strumming an acoustic guitar. She's got to add some electric bits as well. But compared to everyone else, the music style is a lot more stripped down. Always has a good jingle. what makes Pascal Picard stand out is her songwriting style. Um, Again, although she is French, she does all her songwriting and all her singing in English. Up to this point in time, she said she'll do a French album whenever she feels like doing a French album, but she has a lot of fun writing in English. And you can hear in her lyrics too. She has a very straightforward and blatantly sarcastic lyrical style, and it's kind of fun to hear that. You don't really get that kind of thing that's both sarcastic and fun. As far as album highlights, the singles, just a couple of singles, of course. Shooting Star, really fun song. That's iPodable, I'm sure. I say that because I don't actually own an iPod or an MP3, but I'll save that bit for the end. But again, next, Shooting Star. Nobody's Here to Break Your Heart is a rare example of her singing smoothly. She's got a very, because of her singing and songwriting style, she doesn't always sound very smooth when she sings. She's got a good voice and everything, but she doesn't always sound smooth. But Nobody's Here to Break Your Heart, it's a duet with, I don't know his name, and the text is too small for me to read that quickly, so I might just add a little caption with his name. But it's a duet where she actually slows down and does a folk duet and sings very smoothly. And you can tell that she's actually a really good singer. It's her style that prevents her. It's her songwriting style that really prevents her from showing that in every song. But still, hearing her complain that hell is other people. It's another of her singles off this album. Hell is other people. Again, that's probably the best example of her singing style, her songwriting style. The sarcasm, the rage. It's hell is other people and so are you. But yeah. But still, it's a really fun album. Give it a try, seriously. The album itself is called A Letter to No One. There's the name over there. It's her second album, in fact. She does have another one. But this is, I guess, the more polished and focused of the two, so this is the one to check out first. And finally, I don't actually own the proper CD version of this. I actually gave a friend of mine an iTunes card to download the album and put it onto a CD for me, and it happened to be pink. It eventually did come out on CD, but for me to get the CD, I'd have to order it directly from them. And I'll probably do that with their second album because they are recording a new album. But this is the debut album of a band called Of Verona. The album is called The White Apple, and I'm just going to impose a picture of the album cover right in that corner over here. The lead singer, Mandy Perkins, hails from Toronto, but she moved down to Los Angeles to practice her craft, eventually meeting some musicians down there, and the three of them together decided to form the band. And what a band. One of the most dynamic listening experiences I've ever heard, to be honest with you. They do whatever they want. They're very rock oriented, very electronica also. And there's a lot of variety in the songs just off this album alone. They've got songs like Castles and Dark in My Imagination, which are more accessible, more popular songs. Then you go further into the album and they have a straight up alt rock number, Take Me. A very high tempo, very aggressive guitar song. Later on, they even have a couple of progressive rock numbers with music that literally songs that take you on a journey from beginning to end. White Noise and They Will Fall Like Roses both do this. And then again, they change it up again, and Far Off, one of the most powerful ballads I've ever heard. It's a song called Raining, and it's a song about Mandy Perkins dealing with her brother's cancer. It's a cancer that eventually took his life. But it's a very gripping and very beautiful piece. And Verona does have their own YouTube channel with some of their songs up on there, so be sure to check that out. I'm gonna have a link for that in the description below. So be sure to check that out. Be sure to check out Verona. Apparently they get a lot of support from MTV, but I don't get MTV up here, so I can't really confirm that. So that's everybody that I wanted to cover for today. And I did mention that I don't have an iPod. I just prefer listening to my music on CDs. I have an MP3 player collecting dust at a drawer somewhere, but that's all it's ever done. It's collect dust. So it's me being me. So, anyways, what did you think of the video, by the way? Do you like me doing these like random CD reviews? Is 5 enough? 5 too many? Too few? Would you like me to see me record some of these again? And also share some of your favorite music with me. Also, just leave links in the comments. Be sure to check out this band, or be sure to check out this band, or do you know about these guys? And I also want to hear back. What are some of your favorite female-led rock bands? I mean, are you a huge fan of Garbage? Are you a huge fan of Evanescence? Do you like the Norwegian opera metal bands like Nightwish? Let me know. Post links, post comments. I'd love to hear back from you all. And on that note, I'm going to say goodbye, and I will see you next time.